this presentation of Utopian Global Real Assets, Real Income, and Real Lifestyle. Building wealth by design for you live today. This is Claudia Eifert here from Germany, and we have our guest and presenter tonight, Bill Rowell, live from Dubai. Bill is the CEO and founder of Utopian Global. And it's my great pleasure to introduce you to Bill. Bill, how are you? Good evening to you tonight.
Hi, Claudia. Good evening to everyone on tonight's or today's call, Saturday around the world, Sunday morning in Australia, or 8 parts of Asia. So welcome to everyone. Look forward to doing this presentation with you.
That is fantastic. Most certainly, we are live as well on Facebook, on YouTube. So for all your listeners who are going to listen and view the replay, and if you have some questions, again, always go back to the person who invited you to this presentation, or send an email if you have some questions to support@utopianglobal.com. It's really great that you come on board on this Saturday evening here and are listening to this presentation now. I know the things we're going to present to you, or Bill is going to present to you, is going to be really great for your wealth building strategies, because let's face it, everybody needs another income. Everybody needs to have more money in its pocket at the moment right now, in, of course, these circumstances where most people are in worldwide. I mean, I'm in lockdown here in Germany. I think Bill is not in lockdown anymore in Dubai, but there's certainly a lot of things going on right now as we speak. And so, yes, we certainly need to have plan B, plan C, plan D, and this is what we're going to present to you here today. So with that, again, for all your YouTube and Facebook viewers, you probably are not going to see Bill presenting, because this is just the way the settings are. You're going to see me, but Bill is actually going to present. For all your webinar people on the call, you will not see me, but you will see Bill. So this is just the way it works, just to give you a heads up, of course, here. Yes, so let's go into the presentation. So Utopian Global, the company was actually launched in 2008, and we have customers purchasing from us since so many years. In fact, really in over 139 countries, and expanding all the time. Why? Well, because of the nature of our products, which are really, truly wealth building product. So it's a global business, a business in your pocket. I always say a business you can run from your mobile phone anywhere in the world. So that is really fantastic, which Bill is going to show us on our next slide here coming up. And Bill, of course, entrepreneur, global entrepreneur. I know him since many, many, many years now, and certainly very, very successful in the different areas where he has been in the different fields. And so he's going to tell you now how to build and how to grow wealth. And this is really the purpose why he also founded this company, to help ordinary people make extraordinary wealth. So Bill, welcome to the call again. You are going to host this presentation. At the end, we're going to do some Q&A. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you so much, Claudia. It's great to be here. Welcome to everyone joining us in many parts of the world. Yes, it's certainly a time for Plan B. In fact, throughout history, it's always been a time for Plan B. But most people are only educated to have a Plan A. And primarily, that is to get a good education, get a good job, and that job will take care of you, and you'll have enough retirement funds to be able to live a good retirement. I must say, I realized in the late 70s, my father passed away in the late 70s. He was a farmer and merchant mechanic. And I came to the realization that that's actually a lie. It doesn't really work for most people. Okay, maybe high executive jobs it may, but certainly for farmers, motor mechanics, or the working class people, just having a job where you're trading time for money, it doesn't really cut it. Most of these people work exceptionally hard, 40, 50 hours a week, even longer, for the full working career, maybe 45 years, and pretty much 95% of them retire broke, depending upon the pension. So I realized in the 1970s, after that tragic event, that I was going to make different choices. So in 1986, I bought my first business. which is a small hotel. And over 20 years, I owned 4 hotels, which led me in to the area of precious metals, which I'll tell the story throughout here. So you can see me here holding a gold bar at the Argel refinery in Switzerland. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, but I realized if I wanted to live a different life, I had to think differently. I had to think outside the box and generate, be responsible for my finances, be responsible for my life, not dependent upon any government that may do the right thing by us. We wouldn't want to hold our breath of government anywhere in the world wanting to do the right thing for most people around the world, to be quite honest. I mean, most people in pensions, you could be a very successful even worker in Germany, which has a fantastic system, but maybe retire on 1,500 euros per month or something like that, the cost of living, all those types of things. You're just getting by. We are not here just to get by. And we're not here just about the money. We're here to generate a good solid income, to give us a good quality of life and time freedom. They're the 2 things that we really want to be able to have in our life, is good health and time to be able to enjoy the time freedom that we actually have. And this is what we're going to be speaking about. And this is a vehicle that we have here that can actually lead you into that. So as I go for this particular presentation, I'm going to share a bit more of my story, how I came from, born in Melbourne, Australia, raised on a dairy farm. How did I move from there, owning 4 hotels, now running a global business, been a licensed precious metal trader here in Dubai, been an owner and founder of a Swiss company in 2008. So my life dramatically changed, and yours can too. And I'm going to show you how you can actually do that. But you have to be open. You have to be willing to be open and challenge the status quo. Okay, so the utopian global wealth building system is really about, I would break it down to two areas. Building another source of income, which is really important for people, and then able to convert some of that income into real assets. And those assets are broken up into 2 classes. At this stage, it's what we call precious metals, which is wealth preservation. We'll speak about that. And the second class is income generating assets. We'll speak about that as well. So what are the challenges that some of the people are facing today? Well, I'm sure I don't have to tell you, because most of us are experiencing it, correct? 2020 has been a wake-up call. Many people came into 2020. I came into 2020 very optimistic. I traveled pretty much right around the world between the second week of January and the first week in March. I'd gone from Europe to Australia, Europe to Dubai, Dubai to the US, US to Colombia, Colombia back to the US for meetings in Houston, Houston back to here, from here to Africa. I was in Uganda, I was in Kenya, and then bingo, the world changed, borders locked down, economies collapsed, negative oil prices, people caught out with no savings. I mean, many people have been caught, millions upon millions, actually billions of people have been caught out around the world. So many people have been caught with no money, but the burden with high debt. They also have very little savings and no assets. And if they do have the assets, maybe they're the wrong assets. And they're living from, if you still got a job, they're living from paycheck to paycheck. And they say most people are only 1 or 2 paychecks away from being broke, going into liquidation. So this is the challenge that we actually face. In fact, many of these challenges haven't just been because of COVID. They existed long before that. People just didn't like to face the actual truth. We're here to really put the spotlight on these things and then show you what you can actually do to resolve some of these high risks that we're actually exposed to. Let me move that out of the road. So with no jobs, but did you know that technology is an amazing thing? I mean, really, Claudia said before, you can run a global business with Utopian Global from your phone, and it's going to get a lot better over the next weeks as well. I mean, I can speak to people all over the world. Here I am in Dubai. I'm speaking to people all across the world with this digital application. Our world has totally changed. We have robotic labor now flipping hamburgers. You don't have someone earning an income flipping the hamburgers in some places. They've got robots doing it. And we have artificial intelligence. So all these things which are strong trends, these are the trends of the future, which is fantastic. It's going to give us more time freedom, but it also means going to be harder getting employment. We're going to have to shift in the style of employment that we actually do. And for us older guys, that ain't going to be so easy. But I'm not looking for a job anyway. But for the young ones, they're going to grow up with this change. But the ones maybe in their 30s, 40s, 50s now, this change could have a huge impact upon us. So you need to be able to be prepared and understand this. The other ruling paradigm which I was brought up with, and that is, is to work 40 years to retire on a third of what wasn't enough during the time that you actually work. Most people, they trade their time for money, 1 hour of labor for X, Y, Z of income, whether it's US dollars, Australian dollars, euros, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You're exchanging the time for money. They're going to do that for 40 years. When they retire, the income levels generally drop back by about 75% in general. Just imagine, maybe you turn 65, some countries at 67, some countries at 70. Maybe you turn at retirement age and bingo, or you got early redundancy pay, and the company says, Bill, you're now retired. They don't even give you a gold watch these days. You've gone out the door, and all of a sudden your income is being reduced by 2/3. How would that impact your quality of life? It's pretty significant. Now, if you're burdened with, of course, credit card debt, mortgage debt, car debt, and all these types of things, I mean, people get caught out big time. You'd be very limited what you could do during your retirement. And this is the time when you have all the time freedom, but you don't have the financial means to be able to live the retirement that you really want. So I don't expect a pension. I create my own retirement plans. This is what I work on. And I've done that for decades. This is how I think. I don't want some government taking care of me. Their job is to take care of the disadvantaged people, the elderly, the sickly, those types of things. But I really think it's each and everyone's responsibility to take care of themselves and start sowing seeds of prosperity early. This is why knowledge is so important. But if you're betting on retirement, a good pension during retirement, you've got to really understand what is the trend of these retirement plans. In 1950, I was born in the 1950s. It's unbelievable, actually. But I was born in the 1950s. But back then, there was about 16 to 17 workers producing income tax to pay into a social security system. So let's say 16 people producing taxes going to contribute towards the social security system. Today, there's less than 3 people. And by between now and 2030, it's going to reduce by another 30%. It's going to drop down to only 2 people. So how on this earth can that be sustainable? How can you have less taxes going in to pay a social security system and expect to retire on a good pension? It just doesn't add up. It's not sustainable. Of course, governments can print money, but we know what happens, or maybe you don't know, when they expand the monetary supply, we lose our purchasing power, which is going to touch on that very shortly, actually. This is a very important thing. Professor John Chauvin from the Stanford University said it's just not realistic to finance a 30-year retirement with 30 years of work. It just doesn't work that way. And it said here, you can't expect to put 10% of your income aside, then finance retirement that is just as long. Most people don't even save 10%, to be quite honest. So if you're going to live, you're retiring at 65 and maybe you're going to live to 85 or 95, how are you going to finance that? Do you think your pension is going to be sufficient to give you the quality of life that you want, to give you the healthcare benefits that you're going to need? We need to have strong incomes coming in to be able to support that. And don't back your life on a government pension. If it's there for you, it's a bonus. But have something on the side that's really important. You've got to create your own prosperity. You've got to create your own economy, as Bob Proctor used to teach us. And this is what we like to do. The other thing is savers have been penalized by negative interest rates. Many people don't really understand what negative interest rates are. We understand what positive interest rates are. For example, if I put money in the bank and it's a 3% return on my money, annual return, I will get 3% at the end of the year. I put $1,000 in, I'm going to get 3% return on that at the end of the year, which is only $30, for example. But at negative interest rates, they're going to charge me for depositing that $1,000. I put $1,000 in the bank, and at the end of the year, I may only get $980 back or $990, but they're actually billing us for negative interest rates. So savers, people have a saving mentality, and I was brought up to have a saving mentality. I know Claudia, from her background, she's brought up to be a saver, okay? And I don't mean being a Scrooge. We like to live life, but being a saver is really, really important, because things like COVID-19 or COVID-25, whatever it's going to be in the future, these unexpected storms are going to pop up, and we need to be in a situation to be liquid. We need to have some savings there, some assets there that can carry us through these winter seasons. It really goes back to the story of Joseph and the Pharaoh. I'm not going to go into it now, but many of you on this call will be familiar with that particular story. It's a great metaphor that goes back thousands of years, back to ancient Egypt. Okay, so negative interest rates means that's happening to your money. You put money in the bank, and instead of getting a positive return, you're getting a negative return on your money. So why would you want to do that? You do not create prosperity by putting this stuff in your bank. Now, we need to have some in the bank because we need to be liquid, of course. But you need to work out what your ratio is, what you're going to hold in the bank to be liquid, and then what you have available to put towards real assets, which are going to build real value for you over many years into the future. This is what we're talking about here. So the rules of money have changed. And what I'm going to do is just give you an example. I'm going to speak quite a bit about compounding here, leverage, because this is the key that can set you free. Most people don't understand compounding. Okay, if you've got a credit card, you understand compounding interest because you're paying probably 18 to 20% return interest on the money that you borrow that you don't actually, on your credit card. You're buying things with money that you don't have. It's unsecured money from the bank. So they're charging you a very high interest rate on your credit card. If you lease a car, if you buy a home, the bank's are going to charge you compounding interest, which means you pay a lot more. If you paid, let's say, $200,000 for an apartment or something, maybe you're going to pay it at the end when the loan's paid off over 30 years. You're going to pay much, much more than that. This is the effect of compounding interest. And but when it comes to returns on banks, they don't give you compounding interest in your favor. They give you a flat rate. And let's just see the power of the negative effect of negative interest rates when they're low, when you're a saver. If you're a disciplined saver, like Claudia, I know she is, she grew up that way, she's really been penalized by putting money in the bank. Now, just to earn an extra $50 per month, which isn't much, we can show you to do that very easily. But an extra $50 per month, to generate that at a 5% return, you need to have $12,000 in the bank. The $12,000 will give you an extra $50 a month, $600 a year. That's a lot of money they put out, they have tied up in asset value just to give you an extra $50. Now, for an extra $600, you need to have $150,000 in assets, giving you a 5% return. And for $10,000, you need to have nearly $2.5 million. Quite significant. Now, let's have a look at the effect of 1%. 1%, you get $50 per month extra income. You need to have assets, or let's say a term deposit of $60,000 tied up, giving you a 1% return. It's going to give you $50 per month. You just wouldn't do it. You just would not do it. Excuse me. For $600 per month, you need to have $750,000. I mean, it'd be just crazy to do it. And for $10,000 per month, you would need to have $12 million. Well, if you got that sort of money in the bank, you certainly wouldn't be doing it at a 5% term deposit. That's for sure. Although 5% is not a bad return in today's, but certainly at 1%, you would not do it. You diversify things. The other thing that you need to understand is that your money, you trade your time for a currency. I've got Swiss francs here, I've got dirhams here, I've got euros here, I've got Australian dollars here. What else is here? American dollars. The longer you hold this currency, I don't care which country you're from, the longer you hold it, the less it's going to buy. End of story. And you know that. Just think about what you could buy with $100 or 100 euros today, what you could buy with that 3 years ago or 5 years ago. Okay? And ask yourself the question, what is $100 going to buy you today in your country? What could it buy maybe in 3 years to 5 years? Is it going to buy more or is it going to buy less? I think most people would say the general terms are prices of living have gone up when it comes to food items, utility items, power, all those types of things. This costs us more money. Healthcare, it's all increased. And this gives you a very clear example by eye, what will $100 be worth in so many years, okay? And you can see, depending on the inflation rate of 1%, 2%, you can just see, it's just the longer you hold it over years, the less it's going to actually buy. Now, the inflation rates the government tells us about, first of all, it's a lie, because they calculate it without including, let's say, for example, the US, they changed it in 1980. They do not include utility items such as energy. They do not include food items. A couple of other things they don't include. It makes the inflationary figures look better. So it's all manipulated in one sense. And even here we see, this is from John Maynard Keynes, a British economist, and we live under a Keynesian economic system. He said this. He said the system is designed to transfer wealth away from you back to the central banking system. So when you get that clip, when I got this many years ago, it just made me think differently. When you know that the system is designed to take wealth away from you and your hardworking family and send it back to the central banking system, you've got to start thinking of plan B and C. If you want to stick to their plan, you're going to work all your life and pretty much retire broke. He said here, by a continuing process of inflation, governments can confiscate secretly and unobserved an important part of the wealth of their citizens. There's no subtler, no surer means of overturning the existing basis of society than to debauch the currency. We see these revolutions, people breaking out around the world demonstrating because their living standards have dropped so much into the poverty levels. People are upset around the world. It's a global pandemic when it comes to this, actually. The process engages all of the hidden forces on economic law on the side of destruction, and does it in a manner which not one man or woman in a million is able to diagnose. It's done secretly with the intention to transfer wealth away from you back to the central banking system. Now, if that doesn't upset you, you should get off this webcast. That drastically upset me. I saw my father work as a farmer and a motor mechanic all his life and died a young man at the early age of 50s. When I think of him, his head down, his bottom was up working. He was working, trading his time for money that was losing value over time. He never got ahead of the game. These are the things that made me start questioning, what is money? Why do things always appear to cost us more money over time? And then in 1980, I flew to America from Australia. And at that time, an Australian dollar was worth more than the American dollar. And I started thinking, who sets the rules that an Australian dollar is worth more than the American dollar? Who sets it? How does it work? I was not educated in this, but I started asking these questions. Now, of course, that's not the case. The Australian dollar is below the US dollar, but it's inverted here and there, you know. But how does this complex system work? And this system generally is designed for the working man to keep you where you are, to keep you well positioned to be a good obedient servant, trade your time for labor, get enough bread and butter to put on the table, have a roof over your head. Pretty much that's it. And maybe get some crappy pension when you retire. If that's for you, God bless you. Well, it certainly wasn't for me, and I made that decision decades ago. As you can see, I'm pretty passionate about this. Anyway, I had 4 hotels over 20 years, and in 2003, I sold the last one. As a result of that, I went to Zurich, Switzerland, where I met a banker called Philip Judge, a good friend. And he introduced me to the world of precious metals. At that time, up until that time, I had 0 dealings of gold. Of course, I knew what gold was. I'd never bought gold, had no association with it. But Philip asked me about money. And he said to me, Bill, he said, throughout history, rulers of empires always put part of their wealth, part of their paper wealth, into physical gold. He said, rulers of empires, royalty, and the financially elite. And he said, this is the reason why. Because I said, why? I didn't understand why. He said, Bill, as an example, he went up to the whiteboard. We're actually in the Grant Thornton, which is a large accountancy firm in Zurich. It's a global firm. Boardroom. He went up to the whiteboard. He said, here, in Roman times, 1 ounce of gold. Now, this here is 1 ounce of gold. This is 1 troy ounce, 31.103 grams. Okay? 1 ounce, 24 carat, 99.9 pure. He could actually clothe a person. So in Roman times, 1 ounce of gold would actually buy clothes for a person. In those days, it was, let's say, it's a toga and a pair of leather sandals. That's what they wore in Egypt, okay? In the 1920s, let's say we're in the US now, 1 ounce of gold had a fixed price of $20 US. So one of these greenbacks, $20 notes, bit of paper, was a promissory note for 1 ounce of gold. And $20 or 1 ounce of gold at that time could actually buy you a fine 3-piece suit, a shirt and tie, and leather shoes. And of course, Philip's next question was to me, Bill, here we are in Zurich. What could you do with that $20 today? And I laughed at him and said, Philip, we just came from having coffee and cake in downtown Zurich. That costs $20. In fact, in Zurich now, you won't get 3 cappuccinos at Starbucks. Even here in Dubai, $20 in some of the Starbucks here, I don't think there's any change from that either, or very close to no change. But the same ounce of gold today, exchanged to any currency around the world, let's say it's 1,900, it's actually over 1,900, let's say it's 1,900 US dollars in value, or any other currency, it's still going to give you a fine 3-piece suit, shirt and tie and leather shoes. To me, that was a game changer. I got it. Hold this stuff, the longer you hold this, the less it buys. You diversify part of it into precious metals such as gold and silver, and you actually preserve a store of value. And he said to me at that time, it may only be 3 to 5% of your paper wealth. Now, many experts today believe it maybe should be 10%, but that's really up for you to decide. But I can tell you right now, Claudia's been involved with us since we started this project in 2008. She's been taking part of her commissions, part of her paper wealth. She understands the game. She might take 5%, she might take 10%. Sometimes she might take 50%, depending on what it is, and she'll convert that directly into gold and silver. So she's taking paper wealth, paper currency, I should say, and converting part of that, diversifying it into gold and silver. And she can do that very easily, which we're going to discuss about. That's why we designed the system all these years ago to give ordinary people the ability to be able to preserve the wealth in gold and silver. Here's another example on a store of value. The US average home, medium home, it was called, in 1971 had a value of $25,000. So you need $25,000 to buy the medium home in 1971, or the equivalent at that time of 720 ounces of gold, because gold at that time was at $35 an ounce. That's the whole other story, but that's the price it was in 1971. Now, in 2020, the same medium home is not $25,000, it's $280,000. So you need what, 11, 12 times, 13 times more paper wealth to buy the same medium home. But look at that. If you and your family have been educated in what money is and understanding what the wealthy do, what rulers of empires do, and royalty, they save in gold, don't they? We didn't, I can assure you. We weren't even allowed to speak about money at the kitchen table. It was rude, it was bad manners. And here we are slaving like dogs trying to create it, but we couldn't speak about it. Wealthy people have no problem speaking about money. It probably takes up a lot of the conversation at the table. It's the love of money that's not right, but it's what you can do with the money that can do wonderful things for you and many other people. But in 2020, you'd only need about 140, 145 ounces of gold to give you exchange to the currency today to give you that same medium home. So which is a smarter way to save? Saving paper or saving something that preserves wealth? It's a no-brainer, isn't it? And here's a chart here that gives you the performance of gold against the major currencies. In this case, it's euro, British pound, US dollar, other currencies as well. It's well and truly outperformed these currencies over the last 20 years, okay? Silver is also a precious metal. And historically, for thousands of years, gold and silver has been money. Gold primarily for large transactions and central bank balance sheet adjustments and things like that. Silver was the people's money, daily money in one sense. Well, in the 1960s, I remember that myself actually in Australia. In 1960s, our coins actually contained real silver. And in the US, a US quarter, which is 25 cents, contained 5.6 grams of silver. Now, in the US at that time, a quarter would actually buy you a gallon of gasoline. Now, I think a gallon of gasoline in the US today is well over $2, or maybe around $2. But the same 5.6 grams would buy you that gallon of gasoline. So here we have, again, a store of value. The longer you hold on to your currency, the less it buys, whereas precious metals such as gold and silver over long cycle periods preserve that store of value. And here is actually silver against the major currencies over the last 20 years as well. It's all green, so it's all in a positive trend. This is why diversification and understanding things is really important. I never understood this until 2003, okay? So I was never educated in that. And most bankers won't tell you that. In fact, 99% of bankers, I meet lots of bankers here, unless they're in the gold market, bankers aren't educated to think that gold is money. Gold's not even legal tender anymore. They want you to believe that the paper in the bank here or in the US or in this the EU, whatever it might be, this is money. But which would you rather own? I can tell you right now, I'd rather have a truckload of gold and silver long term than these paper currencies. But we've made it very, very easy for our members around the world to be able to get engaged. In fact, you can save in precious metals, diversify your savings from paper currency from as little as 25 euros per month, which is a couple of dollars a day. It's all our gold and silver is London Bullion Market certified to its highest purity. Gold's 99.9, and it actually says it on the actual, I don't know whether you can see it, that actually says it on there. They're saying it's not just stamped on the certificate, it's actually stamped actually on the metal bar as well. It's also on the certificate here in this case. And silver 3 nines. It's also, we do shipments, but also we vault for you. All our precious metals are vaulted at Loomis International in Zurich and some in Dubai as well. And that's where we ship it. When you ask for shipping, we physically ship to you. They're the ones that look after it. We don't even touch it. I don't touch it unless it's someone, a client meeting us in Zurich or in Dubai and they want to personally collect it. I would meet them there and process that particular collection. Otherwise, Loomis does it all. Okay, and all of our gold comes to Argol Horizon in Switzerland. Let's talk about income producing assets. This is the area I like very, very much because what you're doing is you're putting some of this paper wealth. You may let's say put 5% to 10% of your paper wealth that you put aside for investments. You might put 5 to 10% in gold or silver. Then you might have another percentage you want to put towards some other hard assets, preferably some income generating assets in that respect. And this is what I was introduced to when I met the banker in 2003. Introduced me to gold and silver. He also introduced me to an energy fund. And this is one of the reasons why I went there, because I'd sold my last hotel and wanted to put some of the proceeds into investment. And it was actually natural resources. But before I invested a cent, I wanted to know who was I investing with. There's Philip Judge, the banker that I met in 2003, and Philip and I are still good friends today. Claudia certainly knows him. There's people on this call that I've certainly met Philip and know him quite well. And clients of us have been also working with him for well over probably 12, 13 years as well. But he introduced me to Ryan Messer here on the left, and Ryan Messer is the store CEO. So I've known Ryan. I first met him. I met Philip in 2003. I met Ryan personally in 2004 because I wanted to invest in this energy fund. I thought to myself, okay, I've got this money from 20 years of labor in hotels. I want to take some of those proceeds. I want to resow it into some other investments, correct? To generate another source of income. That's what you do. You got to keep sowing. Sowing the right assets, of course. And I met Ryan Messer. I flew into Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So I met Ryan. I met Jay Stewart down here, who's the geologist, and some other board members and things. And here's Mike Viglio, our lawyer out of Houston. And as a result of meeting Ryan, who was the CEO of a public company at that time, I decided to invest in that particular energy fund. So here we are at Utopian Global. This isn't just like a couple of guys we put together that we've met in a bar in the last few weeks in London. We've known each other for many, many years. We've done millions of dollars in deals. In fact, that investment I did back in 2004, it was $1 million deal. Okay? And I was involved with that for a long time. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just telling you, when you do 20 years of labor and work and you're putting that sort of money into an investment, you want to make sure you're pulling the trigger on the right deal, don't you? You don't want to blow it. Otherwise, you've blown 20 years of your labor. Correct? So you need to question things. You need to validate things. So I've been involved with this good guy for a long time. A couple of years later, Claudia also invested. I think she got involved in 2006. We have members on this call whose families also invested in that energy fund at that particular time too. And this is really what leads us to Store. Because we wanted to provide the principle that I've been involved with creating wealth. We wanted to provide our members around the world the same opportunity, because unless you are a high-end investor like I was back then, most people never get access to these types of assets. For example, this particular asset, over 80% of it's owned by industry insiders, geologists, engineers, and things like that. These types of assets don't even come onto the market. They're sold within the industry. Like when I was in the hotels, a good hotel came up, didn't even hit the brokerage firms. The word would get out and people in the industry would buy hotels. That's what I did, okay? And it's the same in this sector as well. One moment, please. So on the 1st of August 2019, we actually settled on this particular investment. It's spread over 5,600 acres, 156 wells, over 90 of them are producing, which is fantastic. And this is a long-term income generating asset. Now, we're not paying out distribution as we speak right now, because we bought actually 12% of the asset. 4% was invested by us, you and I as Store investors. Other 8% was financed by the bank back in July of 2019. We settled on the 1st of August 2019, which is great. It means that we didn't dilute the asset too much, because the more people who got ownership in this particular asset means we've got to share it with more people, correct? Is that good or bad? Well, as an investor, I don't want over dilution. I'm a little bit greedy. I like to have good investment return, as you do. So we took out a bank note to buy 8% of the asset. Well, what happened was we got a little bit caught out here. It's a fantastic asset. It's low risk. It's still producing, even though we had negative oil prices for the first time in history in 2020. This has made a profit every particular month throughout 2020. But when it came to the refinancing, the rollover of the note, bank note, in July 2020, the banks weren't so friendly. Different circumstances: global economy shut down, airlines shut down, the consumption demand for oil and gas had shrunk considerably. Excuse me. And of course, we were caught out. Caught out in the sense that the bank didn't all of a sudden just roll over our bank note. They said, no, we'll roll it over, but these are all the conditions. So we're locked in there. All the money that's been generated for this particular asset is going towards the pay down the bank note, which is fantastic because we're not diluting it more. It just means we get each of us, in one sense, will get it when it comes out to paying out distributions. We're not sharing it with hundreds of other investors. As we pay down the bank note, it just means we're going to have, when we start doing payouts, each of us are going to get more from that, which is actually a fantastic thing. That's the whole concept of what we've actually done. Now, if we had hindsight, we knew that 2020 was going to be like the way it was, how it turned out. We may not have even bought the asset, but this is a solid asset. It's low risk. It's going to be around for a long time, and there's a lot of demand for these types of assets because they're cash flow generating. Our problem is the bank just wasn't so supportive as it was last year. So this is the big issue that we're dealing with, or the board's dealing with right now. Okay, and the reason I speak about this, I'm presenting it even to people here the very first time. I'm just being transparent about this asset. It's a great asset. We put quite a bit of money into this, but things change in business. So there's always a bit of risk. There's no worries about this. We're going to do well out of this particular asset, but sometimes plans change unexpectedly, and this is what's happened in 2020, as all of us probably know. Okay. Better your life. If presented with the right opportunity, what area in your life would you like to do better? Well, finances is certainly at the top of the agenda, I would say, because if your finances are in order, if your cash flow is in order, it affects really your time, availability, it affects your life, it affects your health and well-being. Many people go to bed at night thinking about when's the damn car mortgage, when's my mortgage due, when's my rent due, when's my credit card payment due. They wake up in the morning thinking the same thoughts. Imagine if you didn't have to think that, how much freer you would be, had more income coming in confidently than was going out. You would sleep a much deeper sleep. Unfortunately, most people don't live that way. And this is what we're going to be speaking about this part of this particular presentation. And we're going to show you 3 simple steps. Now, to me, these are very simple steps. And I was first introduced to this concept back in 1991. Now, I was running my hotels in Australia, but I was introduced to a concept of time leverage. And this is the key point I want you to get. If it's our company, it's not our company, it doesn't matter. I want you to understand the power of compounding, the power of leveraging your time, because that is the thing that will set you free, regardless of where you are in your financial situations, whatever country you're in, whatever circumstance you're in. This concept of leveraging your time and compounding will set you free at minimum risk, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so are you ready to become financially independent? Now, to be engaged with Utopian Global, you've got 2 options, very simple. One is you're a customer, where you just go and buy as a customer, retail price, you go and buy your gold and silver, of course. You get access to our gold and silver savings plans. You can also get access to our particular assets that we have available on the market. Then as an affiliate, you get benefits. You actually get access by buying a particular package. You become an affiliate member. You only have to buy the package one time. And that gives you the right to be able to buy our assets at wholesale price. You'll be able to buy your gold and silver at wholesale price. There's the storage of your gold and silver, the sell back of your gold and silver. There's no fees charged when you become an affiliate. And to be quite honest, it's very, very, very cheap. But let me go through that and talk about the risk, because any investment's always about risk management, isn't it? So there's 2 ways to make money as an affiliate member now. So you have a customer where you're just buying our products and services, but now as an affiliate, you just don't get ownership of assets. You now own a global business. And this is where the power of leverage is. Okay, you get paid on when you're referring our products and services to customers, and they buy products from us, gold and silver, or buy into one of our assets. You'll go and you get paid. And also when you introduce them into our global business platform, when they enroll on that, you're also going to generate commissions, which is really important. You need to generate another source of income. I said earlier, the longer you hold on to this, the less it's going to buy. And the truth of the matter is, regardless of what currency you're holding on to now, you're banking with, you trade your time for money, whatever your income is getting paid in right now, between now and 2030, your income is, your dollars or euros, whatever it might be, is going to pay less than half than what it does today. Which means you and I have a dilemma. We have to double our income in the next 3, 5, 7 years, 8 years. And then we're not even ahead. We're just breaking even. We haven't even improved our status, correct? So we pay daily, we pay weekly, and we pay monthly into your e-wallets. I said 3 steps. Let's talk about the first 2. Now, I'm talking about an affiliate member here. Very simple. Step 1 is you got to make a decision. You want to change your life. Do your due diligence. Ask questions. Contact the person that introduced you to Utopian Global. Contact support at utopianglobal.com. Get your questions answered. Attend the trainings. Much information is available. And once you do that, of course, we want you to buy a package. And step 2 is then we want to be able to share what we've got with other people as well, because you are our marketers and you get paid for marketing our products and services to other people passively. So let me go through step 1. Step 1 is you're going to buy a package. The packages start from 99 euros and they go right up to 6 figures, 7 figure actually. But I'm just showing the premium packages here. These are really designed for the affiliate packages to be able to, of course, earn your global business and, of course, generate strong commissions. And if you buy a package from $3.90 upwards, of course, there's benefits that you get more shares and you get more benefits from $3.90 onwards. But there's nothing wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong with buying a 99 euro package or a 170 package or the 3,500 euro package. They're all great packages. There's a package for each one depending on your situation. Okay. If you buy a 99 euro package, if I introduced you, I'd pick up 37 euros in commission. If you bought, if I was to buy 1,500 package and you introduced me, you'd pick up 500 euros in commissions. This pays instantly into your e-wallet, and then it would actually, you'd be able to withdraw that within 2 weeks after the refund period actually expires, because we have a 14-day money-back guarantee. So you're here for the very first time, you're thinking, is this real, is it not real? We give you the ability, it doesn't matter what package you purchase, whether it's a 99 euro package, whether it's a 250,000 euro package, you have 14 days. If you like what we have, you stay in. If not, you do a refund request within 14 days, not 16 days, not 15 days, within 14 days. I'll guarantee you, and here I am speaking recorded, 100% guarantee refund on your package purchase. On your package purchase, we will refund that. Okay. The key point here is I spoke about step 1. You buy a package. Step 2, we want you to share it with 3 people. Now, in the first premium packages, you share it with 3 people. You've already got your money back. So let's use the example. You introduce me. I like what we've got here. I want to start saving in gold and silver. I want to be able to do that at wholesale price, and I want to be able to build a network to generate further cash flow. So I want to become an affiliate member. I buy a 390 package. Let's say you join with a 390 package. I bought a 390 package, and if you refer it to 3 people, you've already earned 440 commissions. So if I join up with a 390, I share it with 3 people, I already have my money back. There's zero risk. Zero risk. Anything over and above that is 100% profit, correct? 3 people. 3 people who are going to get ownership in assets. These packages contain real assets, either gold, silver, and or, of course, the assets that we have, such as store that we spoke about. It's a very simple concept. Step 1, buy a package. Step 2, refer the program. You are the marketers. We're not using TV. We're not using radio. If you like what we have, you speak to people. And if they buy a product or service, you're going to get paid. Okay? And step 3 is we want to build a network. This is where leverage comes in. And when I was introduced to this concept in 1991, I got it. Now here I am running my hotel in Australia. This man introduced me to the concept of network marketing and time leverage. I just got the numbers. I thought, this is ingenious. Now, the products he was introducing me to was nutritional products. Let's say shampoo, could be oxygenated water as an example. And if I bought $150 worth of these products per month and shared it with other people, I would earn a commission. So I bought some business people and said to the guys, hey, you want to earn some more income? They all, of course, said yes. He said, okay, we're going to start, instead of buying our products from here and there, we're going to buy them online from here. In those days, it wasn't online. Actually, you had to fill it out and then fax it through. And we're going to share it with 3 to 4 people each. And we're going to teach them to do the same. And we're going to use these products anyway. And we're going to generate some strong cash flows. Are you in or not? Now, well, everyone came in. I would say 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 came in because they just got it. It's a no-brainer. It's low risk. And you can stop at any time. This is what you're going to be doing here. But what I want to do now, before I go on to show how it actually works, I want you to grasp the concept of power of compounding, the leverage of time and money. You could be sitting desperate right now. You could be sitting wealthy, If you're sitting wealthy, this is going to create more wealth. If you're sitting desperate, this is going to create a lot of wealth for you. This is going to set you free. When you get this, when I saw this in 1991, I own traditional businesses, I just got it. You just have to be engaged in this concept. Because if you're just working, trading your time for money, you're going to work 40, 45 years of your time. You may do well, you may not do well, but you're going to get by, okay? This type of thing can set you free and give you the life that you actually want. Now, here's an example. This is doubling a cent a day is the principle. This is leverage. This is compounding, the effect of it. Day one, you have 1 cent. Day two, 2 cents. Day three, 4 cents. We double that to 8 cents. Pretty slow, but it's not exciting. But at day 16, you're at $300. It's okay. You can do something good with $300, of course. Day 21, but $10,500. Day 30, you're at $5 million. Just one more day, you're at over $10.5 million. That's the power of leverage and compounding. You sow the seeds every day. You present every day. A few people get this sign up. You keep sowing, you keep sowing. They start sowing. And over time, you may not see a bit of a growth, but all of a sudden, after a period of time, you start seeing the bonus checks coming. I can remember when I started, because Claudia knows the story. I actually went to London. I met the owner. I liked this concept so much, I wanted to find a good company that I liked. Now, the person that introduced me, I didn't like the company. I didn't connect to the products, actually. So myself and my partner, we actually went out and we found a company which we liked very much, very unique products, and we liked how they paid. And I remember the first bonus check coming out. I think it was 17 cents or something like that. And it was around like it wasn't and it was a check. They had to send you a check for 17 cents or something. And then it got bigger, like $1.20, and then it got. But then after a couple of years, and Claudia can confirm this, I was a diamond with this particular company. I was earning a strong 6-figure income. So here I am in Australia running my hotels. Other side of the world, I met the owners of this company in London, got the rights to take the products and services into another European country. And the people there who I supported and helped and worked with, I won't say I did it, together, mostly them, we built a huge organization of over 50,000 people, generating me on the other side of the world a 6-figure income, a strong 6-figure income. Very exciting. So I'm running my hotels. While I'm asleep, I'm making more money. This is where you have to get, and this vehicle is what can do that for you. Okay. So let me just give you a quick example. We said step 1 is you choose your package. Step 3 is you're going to actually introduce it to 3 people. They buy their package, and then you want to be able to teach them to do the same. The 3 people that you enrolled, you want them to enroll to share it with 3 people, so they get their money back. They have 0 risk. That's going to go on. This takes time. This does not happen overnight, okay? But through training and support and persistence in getting the power of this, you'll never give up. Believe you me. But you've got to be sowing seeds of presentations every day, okay? And if you learn how to do that through Claudia, there's a lot of trainings on this. You will sign people up, and it will start to work for you. You start to see the growth of your sowing. You'll start to see the harvest from it. But the power of 3, you'd actually, of this perfect matrix, if you did that, would give you a team of over 2,000 people, and you earn $8,000, 8,000 euros per month. That's pretty significant money. Even if you're only 10% successful, it's an extra 800 a month, correct? Because no one builds perfectly like this. But I want to show you the power just by adding 1 extra person. So you've enrolled 3 people. If you're going to enroll 3 people so they've got their money back, to be quite honest, you can go and find 1 more person, can't you? Now, you may have to go out to 5 or 6 or 7 people, but you're going to get 1 other person. They're going to join in, and then you're going to see the effect of this. So you're going to get 1 more person from 3 to 4, and now we're going to work on the numbers of 4, building a network. And you start to see, now we're at 54,000 euros a month, not 8,000 euros a month, we're at 54,000 euros, and we don't have a team of 2,000, we have a team of 21,000. Now, how many people have you introduced? 4. Now, to get 4, maybe you've had to meet 40 people. But 4 of those people out of the 40 said, you know what, this is ingenious, I'm in. I want to own gold, I want to own assets. It's only costing me a couple of dollars a day, I'm in. It's a no-brainer, okay? And you can see the power of the payouts there, okay? But what I like to work on is a minimum of 5. You can add 4, you add 1 more. I'll repeat myself. Step 1, you select the package. Step 2, you share it with 3 people. Then you're going to add 1, train them to do the same. Then you're going to add one more, so you have 5 in your front line. Minimum of 5 in the front line, which qualifies you for all the commissions on the depth, etc. Okay, we're not limited to 5, but 5 is a good number where you can generate good, strong residual income, and that's what you're here for. You want to earn a strong residual income, and you want to earn real assets. Correct? That's what I like to earn. Well, with one extra person added to 5, you can start to see the numbers now. All of a sudden, we're not talking 8,000 a month, we're not talking 54,000 a month, we're talking nearly 200,000 euros per month. Now, if you're only 10% successful, we're still speaking nearly 20,000 euros per month, correct? So maybe you introduce 7 people, maybe you introduce 10 people yourself, and some people introduce 1 or 2, maybe some people introduce none. Okay? Maybe you only introduce 2 or 3 people, but 1 or 2 of those people have actually signed up quite a few people on their first line, and it builds out. So over time, you're going to get the same result. Okay, but you really need to have a minimum of 5 yourself to really make this work very, very strong. And you can see there, even by your second level, you're already making 4 times your money. The monthly asset accumulation program, you bought your package, introduced 3 people, you got your money back. You then get on the monthly asset accumulation program. So you're actually getting ownership of gold, silver, all the assets. Okay, you're getting ownership of something that's real, that's tangible, has value. And you do the 5, have them do the same. Even on just on the second level, your return is 4 times the cost. 4 times the cost. I mean, it's basically 0 risk. And it's this presentation that was shown in 1991 that got me hot. I thought, this is just fantastic. And this is what I did. And this is why I've been involved in this industry for so many years. So I'm so passionate about it, because this, regardless of your situation, this is the equation that will set you free. You don't have to go out and roll with thousands of people yourself. You've got to work smart. You've got to attend the trainings. You've got to understand what we have here. You've got to understand how to present. And Claudia does a lot of these trainings. And this isn't for everyone. That's why I said maybe you've got to go out to 40 or 50 people to get you 4 or 5 people. Some people will go out to 5 people and will get 5, depending on your social network. Okay? But don't complicate this. Keep it very simple. A lot of these people have what ifs this, what if that. My God, what is the risk here? You can get started for 99 euros, introduce 3 people, your money's back, get on the asset accumulation plan per month, which is going to cost you 50 euros, $2 a day. Now this is a fancy looking water. It slices lemon and cucumber water with a few. This costs $2. So one of these per day, you own a global business, which includes real assets. That's it. Nothing more than that. Don't complicate it. Okay. I'm going to talk about this a lot because I'm just so passionate. I know what it can do for you. I know what it did for me. Okay. I'm going to repeat the steps again because I just want to keep it very simple. Step 1, decide to become an affiliate. You want to change your life. Well, you've got to change your life. You want to get in control of your finances. This is a vehicle which is relatively low risk that can set you free. 99 euro package as an example. Get started on that. Share it with 3 people. You've got 100% of your money back. Actually, you've got some profit, of course. Then you get onto the asset accumulation plan per month. Where you're getting ownership of real assets and start building your network out. And you can earn a strong 7-figure income from this. That's going to take some time. But even if you didn't get a 7-figure income per month, what would an extra 500 per month, the extra 2,000 per month do for your life? It would certainly clear out any mortgages that you had over time much quicker, wouldn't it? It would be a game changer. And this is the power that we actually have here. So don't complicate it, okay? Now you're in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself. The team, headed by Claudia, who's been with us well over 10 years, going into 13 years, she heads up a lot of the training, and we're getting some marketing funnels, new marketing funnels coming out in the next, probably before Christmas, it'll be out. It looks fantastic. And many other training calls that she does, but she may want to touch on that at the end of the actual presentation. Okay. We also have other global rewards as well. But you know what? If you're earning strong income each month from your business network, you can go on. You don't have to go on. You can choose whatever holiday anytime you want. Doesn't have to rely upon us. That's how I think. So the time is to get in. There's an old saying that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. You want to change your life, you're going to start making different decisions now. A disclaimer, okay, we're not offering financial advice, but everything that you saw there is true and correct. if you built a network like that, that is exactly how you're getting paid. But we know everyone has different capabilities. Some will, some won't, okay? So everything that you saw there is correct, and it's actually how it would be paid, okay? Same with the gold and silver example I gave there as well. Store's not available for the US. And as I said, we have a 14-day money-back guarantee on the packages. Okay, so when you buy one of the packages, whether it's €99 or 3,500 or 250,000, we've got a 14-day money-back guarantee on the enrollment packages for the affiliates. So time to get in is now. And I like this quote: "You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine." I can assure you, coming from a farm, I did greatly change my routine to get where I am today. I had to change it many, many, many times, and through mistakes, it's forced me to change. But most of the thing that forced me to change was actually the desire for change, to live a different life than what I've been living. I had a clear vision of what I wanted, and that's what you've got to get as well. And this is a vehicle that can actually help you get there. So with all of that from me, I'm going to pass it back over to Claudia.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill. Sorry, I had to, first of all, get myself unmuted, of course, here, because I'm streaming at the same time as well, as you see live. So, yes, certainly, it's all about that. It's about where are you at in life right now? What is your desires? What's your goal? And then really make action and make a decision, because let's face it, life goes past very, very fast. When I talk to people, a lot of people are not happy where they're at, and especially right now in this challenging situation, which really has caught out, as you said, many, many people. Well, right now is the time actually for you guys to get involved and to actually, start making different choices in life. So that's my little few words to it. Again, yes, there's lots of exciting things coming up. I mean, lots of really, really, really cool stuff. And I'm just looking forward to working with you and, of course, help you. And this is really all about what we always want to do here is help other people, help you, help people really get ahead in life and have a better life. And so if this is what you want, well then contact the person who invited you to the presentation, or again, get yourself started right now and don't wait until tomorrow, because that tomorrow just never comes. So with that, Bill, thank you so much. I'm going to just check on some of the questions I'm having here. Sahir says, "Hey Sahir, great presentation." And he has a question which we're going to address, of course, on some of the further calls, because Bill's already said he's going to have Ryan any time in the near future coming on board as well there. So which he can, of course, address better to regarding store. So with that, thank you, Bill, and well, have a good time in Dubai. I'm certainly very jealous because I have it cold here and I cannot travel yet. You are in beautiful, hot Dubai. So yes, I am jealous.
Well, thank you so much, Claudia. Thank you to everyone attending the particular call. And yes, well, it's not so hot here now. It's actually nice, but it's not 47 degrees. You wouldn't want to be here when it's 47, which I have been here. Then you appreciate the cold. Anyway, it's all relative, isn't it? But be safe, be well, and plan your future and make decisions on it. And I wish you all the very best.